Welcome to Two Open Doors, the podcast that explores our power to open or close the doors of relationship with the important people in our lives. We hope you'll learn from and share your wisdom with our community. Thanks for joining us. A friend recently shared a graphic by Dr. Elizabeth Fedrick that depicts intimacy as a multifaceted thing that two people can share. This diagram was an excellent reminder of the richness that we humans can experience in deep connections. In this week's episode, we'll consider the nature of intimacy. When people talk about intimacy, they can mean a variety of different things. Some equate intimacy with sensual or sexual sharing. Others take intimacy to mean deep emotional connection. As the figure suggested, intimacy can also take other forms. Stepping back a bit, intimacy can be taken to refer more to the level of sharing and connection than to the focus of that connection. Viewed from this perspective, it's natural to see an intimate connection as potentially covering the full range of shared experiences. For example, a soulful sexual experience goes beyond the physical to include deep emotional ties, a spiritual transcendence of self, and playful curiosity and creativity. I see the various sectors of the figure, physical, emotional, intellectual, experiential, and spiritual, as being the domains in which one can share intimately with a partner. Let's consider each of these in turn. Physical connection can play out across the wide expanse of both non-sexual and sexual touch. Those differ in whether the intent of the touch is in pursuit of a sexual exchange or not. There are many different ways to categorize touch, depending on the goals of the touch, intensity, body parts involved, etc. For our purposes here, we'll just distinguish between four broad categories of touch. Social or cultural touch, which includes touch-based social conventions such as handshakes. Friendship-oriented touch, which expresses the emotional warmth felt in close friendship. Loving touch, which expresses the affection one feels toward a loved one. And sexual touch, which includes the various forms of touch such as kissing that are found in sexual exchanges. All of these are different expressions of physical intimacy between two individuals. They reflect and are appropriate in different levels of physical connection. It's worth pausing to consider the distinction between sensual and sexual touch. Again, these kinds of touch differ more in terms of the intent of the touch than in the form that the touch takes. The goal of sensual touch is simply to share the gift of physical pleasure. Thus, for example, a warm hug or a loving massage are examples of sensual touch. In contrast, touches that are meant to build sexual arousal and potentially culminate in orgasm are examples of sexual touch. That sort of touch normally involves genital stimulation, but since the entire body can become an erogenous zone, sexual touch may also involve non-genital touch. Turning now to emotional intimacy. When we try to share emotional intimacy with someone, that means that we're trying to participate deeply in that person's emotional world. Such a connection is necessarily a two-way street. Both of the participants in an emotionally intimate connection need to be emotionally open and available, that is, vulnerable, with one another. As we've noted in prior posts, feelings of safety and welcome are an essential foundation for emotional sharing. The partners in an emotionally intimate connection need to trust and respect one another. However, that's just a baseline requirement. Each partner needs to go beyond that by actively providing support and validation for their partner. It's hard to feel welcomed by someone who doesn't act in ways that are reflecting care and love. Conversely, being treated warmly and with genuine caring goes far toward making one desire to open and receive such a loving partner. Through emotional intimacy, two partners can come to know one another deeply. Such partners feel a strong desire to invite their partner to share their world. To do so, both must be able and willing to communicate effectively. Without that facility, interactions are reduced to guesses and mind reading, which are sure to go astray. Effective communication entails far more than just clearly conveying facts and decisions. It also includes a sharing of one's internal state. That suggests that communication is linked to a willingness to make oneself vulnerable in order to share sensitive personal feelings. In doing that, two partners open their inner worlds to one another. It's hard to imagine a clearer embodiment of emotional sharing than that. The universe of thought is yet another arena in which intimacy can play out. I believe that the value of deep conversation is often underrated. To some, a sharing of ideas may seem like a cold and distant way to relate to another person. In actuality, though, such conversation can be an effective way to get to know another person, how they think, what they value, what their life has been like, etc. Such information is rarely shared in the course of superficial daily life. Sharing thoughts and observations with someone requires that one be in touch with one's own beliefs and worldview. It isn't possible to share ideas and beliefs that aren't sufficiently well formed in one's own mind to allow them to be expressed. Thus, becoming intellectually intimate with someone benefits not just the relationship, but each of its participants individually. In becoming intellectually intimate with another person, we also become more intellectually intimate with ourselves. Such an exchange promotes creativity, curiosity, and playfulness, as well as a beneficial level of introspection, that is, getting to know oneself. Deep conversation with another person helps us crystallize our own beliefs and opinions, as well as sharing them with our partner. Again, that benefits both the relationship and its individual participants. Intimacy is about sharing one's life with someone else, and life consists of an unending string of experiences. Experiential intimacy, or sharing meaningful adventures and life experiences, is a great way for people to get to know one another. It offers the partners in a relationship the opportunity to get to know what each likes or dislikes. Pursuing experiences allows for spontaneity and for the introduction of novelty and variety into a relationship. All of us have memories of experiences that have affected us deeply and that may have helped to form us. Often, those memories are associated with strong emotions. Some positive, some definitely not so. Some formative memories may be freighted with self-judgment or shame or other emotions that have driven us to keep those memories safely locked in an inner safe within our heart. Sharing our memories of such experiences with a partner is a very intimate experience. We can only do that with someone we feel very safe with and accepted by. Such deep sharing creates enduring bonds between those who share those memories. Shared experiences can also provide a way to share things that have brought us joy with our partner. That shared joy can bring lightness and vitality to a relationship. Experiences can be sweet when they bring pleasure to an individual, but they can be even sweeter when shared with someone we care deeply for. Such sharing is an expression of experiential intimacy. There's yet another domain in which we can share intimacy with another person, that of spirituality. Spiritual intimacy is qualitatively different from the other domains of intimacy that we've considered. A spiritual focus takes us outside of ourselves and what we're personally experiencing, and it moves us into a space in which we experience our relationship with a broader reality that includes us but extends far beyond us. By spirituality, I don't mean religion, which describes a particular set of beliefs and practices that reflect a particular worldview that places individuals in a broader context. Rather, in the sense in which I use it, spirituality simply refers to the many threads of connection that link individuals to one another. Some of those connections are overt, while others are subtle and ethereal. Through spiritual intimacy, partners can share their sense of what role they play in the world, along with their particular beliefs and values in relating to other people and the world. That gives them common ground and thus brings them closer together. In addition, when partners share powerful life experiences together, such as in transcendent lovemaking, a sense of spiritual intimacy can bring them closer together than does the experience itself. The sensed, deep connection of spiritual intimacy can unite partners in a way that makes for a mountaintop shared experience. As I see it, spiritual intimacy is a rare and precious form of intimacy that adds unique brilliance to the other facets in the jewel that is intimacy. To learn more about Two Open Doors and to engage with our community, I'd like to invite you to visit the Two Open Doors private Facebook group, the Two Open Doors meetup group, and the Two Open Doors website and blog at twopendoors.com. I also invite you to contact me directly by writing to me at Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E, at twopendoors.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll use your inputs to guide my work on future blog posts and podcast episodes. Thanks for visiting Two Open Doors.